What's going on, crew? Acquisitions Lou here, as always, with Joel in the building. Got some good content for you guys as always. Today, let's talk about when you get that big assignment, right? When you finally get that assignment that you've been waiting for. Is it time, if you're working full-time job, is it time to quit, right? You've seen us on the channel bring in, checks as big as, what, 58,000. So you might be thinking, it was time to quit. Oh, they left their jobs. It was time to focus on this full time, get out the 9 to 5, etc. Let's talk about it. Let's dive in. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment if you like this content. If you're inspired, hit the comment section and say inspired. You guys have been reaching out to us in the DMs, and we love to see it. So let's talk about it. Story time. Let's get into it.
All right, guys. So the first point, and please keep in mind, this is just my opinion, our opinion, whoever's opinion, okay? I think you shouldn't leave your full-time job after you've made a big assignment or you've made as much income as your salary if you have a family, right? So wholesaling is not typically consistent each month. You're not guaranteed a deal. Deals fall through, title issues happen, sellers ghost, all these random things happen. If you put your family's basic needs on the line, guess who's gonna be under pressure? You that quit. Also, your family needs your time. So if you're gonna quit, you maybe have not factored how much work it's gonna take if you're doing it full time. If you think you're gonna just quit your job, now you have 8 more hours. When you're an entrepreneur, you're working 24 hours a day. If you have the job, at least you have your basic needs met, your rent, your groceries, etc. Your family's taken care of, and then you can use that extra cash that you would have had to take out if you quit your job to hire and build a team and just think strategically. All right, so the next thing would be marketing ain't cheap. Just because you're paying for marketing, just because you're paying for cold calling, just because you're paying for PPC, just because you're paying for leads does not guarantee you a deal. Also, it doesn't even guarantee you a lead if you're paying for PPC or SEO, etc. I'll give you a great example. So we're paying for PPC marketing, and the month of January or February is dry. Last year we had 3 months where there were no good leads we could produce into deals because the numbers just didn't work. Imagine if I quit my job, the type of pressure I'd face, right? So that's my second reason. And the marketing channels, especially if you're paying for PPC, Facebook ads, whatever it may be, SEO, whatever it may be, competition goes up, costs go up. So if you think you're just gonna take out your salary consistently each month, it's probably not gonna happen. So I recommend staying in the job as long as you feel like you're in a comfortable place in business. Honestly, you wanna use that wholesale money to invest in rentals or commercial where you're getting that consistent cash flow before you leave your job. That's my opinion. All right, the third thing to consider is title issues. Something that we don't really talk about because most people have a TC on the team, but sometimes title or the attorney handling the file is going slow, or they miss something, or some surprise thing happens where there's an extra error in the probate process, and now your deal's on the line, about to blow up, and you thought it was gonna close in 2-3 weeks, but now it's either not gonna close or it's gonna close in a couple months, right? So if that's your only deal or whatever, you're gonna be under pressure, and you're not gonna operate the business out of abundance, you're gonna operate it out of fear. And we don't advise you do that because then your business won't grow as it should. Fourth thing is, I'm gonna reiterate, some months there's no deals. And we don't talk about that enough in wholesaling. Some months there's no deals. More people come into the market, more people want to bid on ads, more people want to do SEO, more people want to cold call. Heavy regulation on cold calling, heavy regulation coming for SMS, even though there's already regulation for it. It just makes everything harder, squeezes everything, so you don't want to be under pressure. So you don't want to quit your job and then you have no money to eat, your family has no money to eat, and you're struggling, and then you ultimately leave wholesaling because it costs money to make money. The fifth thing you got to consider is that you have to maintain company growth. If you're hiring people, they're depending on you to feed them, right? So if you quit your job and now you got to take your salary out, that's more expense to the company when you could have kept that money in to invest in the growth of your company. And then the last thing I want to say we're not considering is the regulation coming. So Jerry Norton recently made a video about this, and he's been making videos about this. They're trying to make wholesaling illegal. right? These guys, these attorneys, these people are just upset. Realtors, who knows, brokers. I really do think it's brokers in the NAR. They're just upset that wholesalers make way more money than them. And they think what we do is nothing. They think we sit in our hands and just make money doing nothing. So they don't really see our value. So they're lobbying the government to make wholesaling illegal state by state. What happens if your business is just based all on wholesaling and you've left your job and now your state has mandated it as illegal? It's not gonna be a good feeling. So you wanna set yourself up, right? If you keep your job, stock up on cash, buy investment properties, and build those relationships, at least you'll have more stability in case it becomes illegal to have private money lenders. You could double close, you could actually buy these properties and flip them. You'll be in a better place if you have the job. That's my opinion. And guys, this is a bonus. Something that a lot of these guys don't talk about is the taxes you're gonna pay. So you have to consider this. As an LLC, you're gonna have the 15.3% self-employment tax. And if you think you're gonna just replace your salary, you make 100K a year, and then you make 100K wholesaling, and you're just gonna take home that 7 to 8K a month, you have to consider the extra taxes you're gonna pay. On top of that, you have to consider the insurance, right? Because now you're a sole proprietor or LLC, whatever it is. To pay for health insurance, it's gonna be all out of your pocket, and these costs add up. And also, keep in mind, you're working more, because as you're growing, now you're doing this full time, more things break. If you got a family, they expect this time from you because you're an entrepreneur now, and now you got all the time in the world to sit by the beach and just make money, laptop lifestyle. You gotta think again, this is a business, so you gotta keep investing in it, because 96% of businesses across the US do not survive in the first 5 years, and you don't want that to be you. All right, guys, so with all that said, this is my opinion. If you have a family, if you have people that rely on your income to survive. But Acquisitions Lou, his situation's a little different.
So guys, you know, we talked about it in the past. A lot of you guys know Joel's story as far as like going into the city, etc., still working 9 to 5, hustling. A lot of you guys don't know, I used to do something very similar over a year ago. Same commute into the city, working corporate, etc. Now, basically, over a year ago, it was a mutual decision where I kind of parted ways from my company, tech bubble, etc. Just a lot going on. But my situation is very different. I don't have any kids. I'm not married. So in a way of speaking, you can say my risk tolerance is a lot higher because I only have myself to feed at the end of the day, right? Like I can just have water and ramen noodles and eggs like for a year or two if I need to just like really buckle down, you know what I mean? So with that being said, if you're in this business month to month, it isn't always consistent. And so if you're gonna leave, you wanna wait until it's the right time, right? Like
our opinion is the right time would be if you replace your income and you're single like Lou and you got no strings attached, no one depends on you, you depend on you. I would say leave the job, hustle, tone down the lifestyle, rent a smaller room, just honestly rent a place you don't want to be. So you're always out working and just hustle and focus. That 100K seed money, try to live on as little as possible and just learn the whole game of real estate, not just wholesaling. Wholesaling is the gateway. So much more you could do. Subject to, for example, right? All this stuff, you can produce cash flow and stability in your life, build a team, build a culture, and that's how you win.
Be smart with that. Like when you get that deal that finally sets you apart, what you want to do is like, you want to make sure, he mentioned a second ago, taxes, take out your money for taxes. If you have bills and you're renting, like put away, like personally, I recommend putting away like 6 months to a year because like that money can go quick. You gotta take about money for taxes, bills, marketing expenses. Maybe you wanna start building your team. Maybe you might be looking at office space. Like you really wanna take calculated risk and strategize. But don't just leave. Like you may have, you know, 2 or 3 consistent months, but it still may not be enough to replace your salary. That's not the time to leave. Like you wanna really make sure you see those big checks hit and you're like, okay, for the next 6 months, I don't have to worry about bills. I can just buckle down and really build this business to the next level.
All right, guys, and before we go, to reiterate everything, so if you got a family and you got people that depend on you, Do not quit your job. Don't do it. Keep in mind, marketing costs are not cheap. They fluctuate month by month. So you gotta keep that in mind. Title issues, things come up, things pop up. Who's gonna deal with it? You. It's gonna affect you. It's gonna affect your bottom line. Some months are a drought. Some months there's no deals. Some months the leads are just trashy. The value of the leads are bad, and the sellers don't want to come down on their price, and it's gonna affect you. You gotta maintain company growth. If you're building a team, you're building cold callers and stuff, you don't want to have to downsize, right? So stay in the job. Another thing, legislation, they're trying to make it illegal state by state, slowly but surely. So one thing to note, you need to stock up on cash. If you leave the job, you have less cash to stock up on. And then the last thing is taxes. Put that money aside, like Lou said. It's very important. And remember, this is my opinion. If you got a family and you got people that depend on you. If you don't, like Lou's situation, save 6 months, have a 6-month saving, if not a year, and then leave the job and hustle your butt off to make this happen and change your life. Signing out. Peace.
Peace.